Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Mountain Cabin Homestead. Man, that's a mouthful. Anyways, last episode we got this tower standing, and well, by tower I mean the base of the tower standing. We got the base foundation poured. It's still got about 3 or 4 days left to cure before I can actually erect the tower. But what we're going to do this episode, or well, today, and maybe a little bit tomorrow, is I'll bring this base section down, lay it down, and then assemble the rest of the tower, which goes down this way, and hopefully by the end of the episode, erect the tower. But I don't think I ever talked much about what I'm actually putting on the tower. I had to have mentioned it at some point, but I just don't remember. Anyways, if we look down over into this field over here, we see this white speck in the middle of the field down there. That is the Starlink satellite dish. That is what I use for my internet connection, is Starlink, and it actually works quite fantastically, especially for where it is right now. I do use it for work, and there are intermittent disconnection issues at the moment because of the location that I have it. We've got trees on the right side of the field. We have trees on the left side of the field, depending on which way you look, left or right. I know I said that's right and that's left, but I mean, just, I'm thinking about looking up towards the cabin. Just never mind. Anyways, and then we've got these trees here, which these trees aren't actually an issue, I don't think, or maybe they are actually. They must be an issue. And then we've got trees right down there behind it. So we've got, you know, quite a bit of obstruction on the Starlink satellite dish, but we still get stable enough internet to do work. It's just the intermittent disconnections are really quite frustrating, and having a stable internet connection is something that I would really love to have. And so that is why this tower is going up. Now, with that out of the way, I'm not only going to put the Starlink satellite internet dish on the tower, although it might just start out that way. Eventually, I'd like to put some sort of camera on the top of the tower, some sort of camera that I could control, and maybe even an actual decent camera, because I'd like to, you know, I could take pictures, I could take cool time lapses and some stuff. So I don't just want it to be, you know, some cheapo security camera to be up there. I mean, look, it's gonna have clear view of that beautiful sky. It's gonna be great. And then of course, you know, I could use it to look around, to have it be some sort of security camera, something that I could access, you know, from the internet anywhere, kind of that kind of deal. So, and then of course I'll eventually have other security cameras around as well. But that is the general idea for this tower. I also have a lightning rod coming, but I mean, that's you know, just in case it gets struck by lightning, it doesn't blow out my electronics. And I've got other surge protectors and fuses and things coming along that will hopefully minimize, you know, surge issues with the lightning strike as far as the rest of my electronics go. Anyway, so the idea is this episode, get this tower up and standing and take a look at the internet. Whew. All right, well, the tower is all assembled and ready to go. Now we just gotta wait until this concrete's ready for me to pull it up. Let's not go that way before I trip and die, fall in the hole and bury myself. Look at that. Oh, I'm tripping over things. 70 foot right there. So I've got it assembled all the way down to the mast. Lightning rod should be here on Wednesday, somewhere around there. And as soon as that gets here, I can put both the Starlink on this, put the lightning rod down below. I'll have to get some extra mounting gear for the lightning rod, because the plan is, so the Starlink's going to go up on top here and come up a little bit over here. But for the lightning rod, what I'm going to do, everything with the lightning rod kit works. It just attaches straight to the mast, and then with the kit that comes with it, the bolts just kind of, it's, you know, 3 inches off of the mast and then goes up. What I'll do is I will get I don't know, maybe 2-3 foot long bolts, and have it extend like 2-3 feet away from the mast, maybe even longer, and then go up past the Starlink antenna. That way the highest point on the mast is the lightning rod, so if lightning does strike, it's more likely to decide to hit the rod rather than hit the Starlink antenna dish and go through that, blowing that up in the process. I still have to get some grounding equipment just to attach to the base of the tower and then to the ground, just so that if it does get struck by lightning, it doesn't blow the concrete out, because that's a thing. But yeah, this thing is ready to go. So now it's just a matter of waiting for 3-4 days. We'll see what happens, what gets here first, but as soon as this tower is ready to go up, we'll see you guys then. We got ourselves a brand new air conditioner system, not sponsored, from Mr. Cool. I watched, who's the man I watched? Will Prowse, big solar YouTuber, does all the solar off-grid systems, and reviews all of the inverters, batteries, so on and so forth. Wonderful channel. I suggest you guys go check it out. Link will be in the description, as long as I remember. Anyway, so what we got here is a Mr. Cool 12K, which will be just more than enough than what we need. We need, what was it? I estimated about a 10K is what we needed for the 400 square foot that we have. We actually have a little bit less than 400 square foot, but 12K is more than enough, so that is perfect. And hopefully this will keep us cool, at least here the next few weeks that we have of summer and really hot 100-degree weather. Next year it'll really come into use. I'll tell you what though, UPS could have done a better job of taking care of this package. I haven't opened it yet, so I'm hoping that everything on the inside looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and get this open. All right, so this here is the inside unit. We'll get to that here in a bit. This here is the base for the ground unit. We'll get to that shortly here. But for now, this unit, a close inspection of this unit reveals that everything is mostly fine, a-okay. There's no dents down here on the bottom, no dents on the side, no paint chips. The only issue I see is this particular issue here, and I think this is more of a manufacturer defect than anything. It's a combination of manufacturer and shipping. I think the user should probably install this little device because it sticks out away from the device, and it's in the most delicate, it's attached to the most delicate piece of the system, being the cooling fins. And this here is supposed to just kind of sit between those fins and kind of rest in there. However, in shipping, obviously this package had been brutalized on its way to me. Thanks, UPS. I appreciate it. This here got jammed way back up in there. I don't know if it's what it looks like is they dropped it, possibly. No, it doesn't even look like they dropped. Well, actually, this styrofoam is crushed. Yeah, they definitely dropped it here. I mean, they could have pushed up another box against it or something, but yeah, so that's what's going on there. I'm not going to RMA this. I'm just going to take it as is. I could probably take the time to straighten those cooling fins if need be, but otherwise, I don't think that's going to cause me any issue at all. Especially cooling or anything, because first of all, there's plastic pieces here in the first place, so there's already a restriction on airflow in this part here, and most of the airflow is going to be, it looks like, probably coming through this section here anyways. So with that out of the way, with that there, I don't think that's going to be any sort of efficiency issue. It is what it is. It's going to be behind the unit. The unit's going to be, this is going to be against the wall over here. So, or the back side is going to be against the wall. This is going to be facing frontwards, I believe. I'll have to do some research in that, figure out what is best. Probably have it a couple feet away from the wall. I'll actually probably clear out this concrete pad over here that has the handprints in it. Actually, no, I won't put it on that, because I have wrestled with the idea of revitalizing the outdoor shower. So we'll probably end up putting it here. It'll probably go through the wall up here below this window. My desk is right on the other side, and that would actually be, other than my desk being on the other side, that's where I'm currently working during the day and where I'm hot, so it'd be nice to have the AC kind of falling on top of me. And probably the most valid reason for putting it here is because, one, I can't put it there. I just don't think there's enough room. Well, there might be enough room on the inside. Maybe. I don't think there is enough room. But here, with the size of this window and everything, it just makes the most perfect sense to actually have it here. To be honest, it's like, you know, it's like it was destiny for this spot to house an AC unit. So anyways, this unit here probably gonna go down here against the wall. We'll have to snake an extension cord out until we actually get power resolved. Right now we just have this gray cord coming through from the solar shed, which is currently up over there. That is our power coming in. I'm gonna go ahead and get this outside unit installed. It should be pretty easy, to be honest. So anyways, back to the project at hand. We have got our thermostat. We've got two insulating split tubes. I don't know why they're cut, but I guess to go around it. Anyways, two insulating tubes. This here is the remote. Apparently, from what I understand, is that the thermostat setting operates based off of what the temperature of the remote is reading. So for instance, or maybe it's a combination of both the thermostat and the remote. I don't actually know if the thermostat has a reading in it. But anyway, so if I'm over here and it's 80 degrees over here in this area, but it's still, but it's down to 70 degrees over by the computer, because that's where the mini split is, or the AC unit, mini split, whatever you call it, heat pump, I don't know. It'll run the thermostat based off of the location of the remote. That's what I read at one point anyways. Here we have a smart USB AC controller. I have no idea what this is for. I don't keep my computer on all the time. Maybe this is something that just needs to be powered. I have no idea. Anyways, we got that, whatever that is. We got some pretty hefty, some sort of sealant, or maybe sticky or something. Maybe this is to stick the bracket for the AC unit to, and maybe it reduces vibration. I don't know. I'll have to look at the instructions to figure that out. It looks like we've got connecting pieces here, piece of a hose, grommet, sealer thing. And we've got our instructions, a couple booklets here that I'm going to read through. Anyways, this here looks fairly straightforward. This bracket here, this comes out. I think you just pop this out. Yeah, you just kind of bend this down, pop this out. This comes out. You mount this on the wall, get it level and everything. Then you mount this on top of that. Figuring out how these are supposed to be connected and where. These here are for the coolant that goes into the thing. Oh, this must be for the other side of that plastic hose. I kind of had a feeling that this hose was meant for condenser release. Basically, water condenses and is basically a drip line for the water that gets condensed. So that's probably what that hose is for. So that means I'm going to need 3 holes drilled in the wall, and I'm not entirely sure if the holes go behind the unit or if the holes go somewhere else, because what I'm guessing is that maybe these pipes are supposed to go through the wall behind the unit, and then you don't have to see the pipes, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to read the instructions for that. But I'll get this all prepped, and we'll go from there. All right, well, I've got the unit on the inside installed. It's mostly level, and I want to say it's more or less a temporary job. The issue is it's meant to be a permanent job, according to the install instructions, but the thing is that probably next year or the year after, it's going to have to come down, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to redo both these walls when I redo the roof. You know, that's if I do that. I'm fairly certain I will. The main issue with this is that there's only one stud in the center. Generally, you're going to have studs that are 16 on center, and these are probably 32. So that's just what it is. So we've got one stud right in the middle there. I did put it up. I did do a little bit of torque on it just to make sure it was stable, it wasn't going anywhere. I may need to put some shims in there if there's any vibrating or anything, but we'll get to that once it's actually running. But for now, I've got the outside all hooked up and connected except for main power. What I need to do before I get that going is we need to check for leaks. Now, this did say, you know, it's possible to do this all without a torque wrench or anything. What's interesting is, I mean, I had to tighten these down all the way to the thing. We're using soapy water here to check for leaks. Anyways, what I was saying was I had to tighten all the way down to the, where the two, basically the nut portion of the connectors meet. And I tightened it down to that, and that's when I was able to, you know, tighten it. And I don't think I tightened it over spec, probably, you know, 10-ish foot-pounds of force, I'm thinking. Nothing too extraordinary tight. But what's interesting is that, I mean, from looking at the instructions, I couldn't, the instructions weren't very clear. That's pretty much all there is to it. So that one down there isn't leaking. Ha! Gotcha. Let's throw this on here. This is some good soapy water, by the way. Oh. I don't see or hear any leaks here. And I don't see or hear any leaks here. The thing is you got to be able to discern. A leak is going to be bubbles getting bigger and bigger and popping. Whereas if you just see bubbles popping, that's not a leak. And from what I could tell, we are golden. Fingers crossed. I'm going to get power hooked up. Now, power is going to be more or less a temporary thing until I get me a breaker box, because I don't have a breaker box yet. And I went to our not necessarily jeez, big old bug, go away. Not necessarily an electronic store, but an electrical type store. And they didn't have a breaker box. I did ask fuse box. I probably should have said breaker, and the guy's like, oh no, we don't have fuse boxes. I might have been confused or confused him, but if that is the case, though, he should have maybe clarified. I don't know. Anyways, let's see if we can get this hooked up. Oh, also, my lightning rod has arrived. So as soon as I get this hooked up, I could go pick that up. All right, it's a little bit later in the evening, but we have everything set up and ready to go. The instruction booklet was helpful, but a little bit less than. I had to redo just the insulation and some black rubbery stuff with this. The instruction booklet didn't exactly specify that. It just was not very specific on what to do, and I did it wrong the first time. It probably would have worked, but I just had to take everything apart and redo the rubber stuff and tape everything up and whatnot. It's a little bit of a hassle, but we got it done. I do need to get some expanding foam for the hole in there. That's easy peasy. I could probably do that this weekend at some point, but everything here is hooked up. We have electrical hooked up. We have obviously we have pipes hooked up, and this is all ready to go. We're just running off of an extension cord for now that snakes into the house until we actually get a breaker box. We're not quite there yet. Let's go ahead and head inside. Oh, I can't wait till this room is done. All right, we are inside. It's nice and light in here. It's nice and warm in here. And by nice and warm, I mean not nice at all. Anyway, so we have the AC hooked up to this cord right here. So we're gonna go ahead and plug it in. We're gonna plug it into a GFCI. Hopefully, if there is any issues, it just pops the GFCI and we're good. But I'm like 99.9% confident I did it right. It's just this part is always just nerve-wracking plugging it in for the first time. Okay, I saw a big old 88 on there, which means we did something right. Power went on. It is about 88 degrees in here. I'll sneak under this ladder. Come over here. I can't wait to clean this mess up. All right, this here is the thermostat. Let's go ahead and hit the power button on that. I'm not entirely sure. Here. Okay, now we're on 76. We blew the GFCI. Well, I was a little bit afraid of that. Right when we turned it on, so we could plug it into a non-GFCI. What we know is that power is hooked up correctly. So let's go ahead and plug it into a non-GFCI. And Alexa's going to be off for a little bit here. Okay. It's on. So it could, I mean, we know it works. We know it power's plugged in the right way. Now it blew a GFCI, which wasn't entirely not expected. I suspect, oh, that feels good. Oh, it is working. Oh, hello. Oh. Oh, that feels good. Oh, that is perfect. That makes me really, really, really happy. Oh, yes. Let's go see. So we've got this thing. I think it's set up at 76. Let's bring it down to 69. And then, so what's interesting is it's blowing air. It's nice and cool. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see any lights dim or anything. I only get, for the power, so I only get really good reception over here of the solar shed. Let's take a look at this. We're only drawing 300. We're only drawing 300 watts. Well, actually, what I should do is look at the smart bus here. This here is the old AC, by the way. This is only 600 BTUs. Not very good. Okay, so we are actually totally drawing 269 watts total right now, which is interesting. Oh, you know what? I know why. Maybe. I mean, we told this to be 69. I mean, that feels good. What am I? It's on auto. The fan is on auto. This is 84. I mean, that feels great. We're only drawing 200. So, okay. So it is drawing watts, which, I mean, we knew that it would. It's drawing 257 watts. How much that is actually drawing is probably 150 watts, if I were to guess. Oh, what I wanted to check was time remaining on this. Time remaining is 4 hours, but that is because now we are drawing 1200 watts. So that means that that fan outside must have kicked on. All right, so as I suspected, that fan did kick on. I'm sure all this garbage laying around is not helpful. That's actually blowing a good amount of air. So one of the reasons it's drawing so much power right now is because it's very warm inside the cabin. I suspect once the temperature actually gets down, it will maybe use less power. Because right now we are probably still drawing 1300-ish watts. Oh no, we're only drawing 500 now. So this is going to be where getting the auto generator start is going to help. But now that we know this is running, I'm going to go ahead and get this put back together, clean up my mess, and I've got to head to town and go get a lightning rod. The build-up for the whole episode, I forgot to hit the record button. I'm sorry, I apologize. Eventually, the tower will come down and go back up when I put more gear on the top of it. But it's up now. We've got internet. We've got super stable internet, which I am so excited for. I'm going to be on the internet all day today. I ain't going to be productive at all. No, that's probably not true. But yeah, I'm super happy. My dad came up, we took his Jeep, parked it right up there, and well, pulled the tower up. So we did. So the instructions are interesting because it says just walk the tower up. Like, oh, okay, that sounds easy enough. This thing weighs a ton. Well, it weighs about 230 pounds. But you know, I picked it up, and me and my dad, we actually walked it up together a little bit. But there's also this incline here, or decline, I guess, coming out of the way, which makes things a little bit more difficult for a walk-up tower. But even then, it's just no possible way we were going to walk this tower up, even the two of us, from the bottom to standing position. There's just no possible way. Maybe if we had another man up top and a rope maybe halfway up, or maybe a couple people up there pulling on a rope and pulling it up, and you know, two people down here, maybe. But other than that, it just wasn't happening. But anyways, yeah, so we got the tower up. Eventually it will come down and go back up. That'll be a video probably in the future, probably it's quite a ways in the future, to be honest. But there's a couple things I definitely do want to add to the top of it. If you can see, I've got a lightning rod up there. I'm not too pleased with the lightning rod installation, but it'll work. It'll get the job done. It'll be interesting to see how everything performs once the wind starts picking up. But what I basically did was I took the kit that I got for the lightning rod, and then I bought, what was it, 2 or 3 foot long threaded rods, and used those instead of the short 4 or 5 inch rods that came with the kit. And that put the rod out far enough away from the antenna that the antenna is not going to interfere with it. Hopefully, if the rod does get struck, it doesn't cause any damage to the antenna. But with that said, if the rod does get struck, hopefully most of that energy gets redirected into the ground rather than either through the wires of the Starlink dish or otherwise. So yeah, I am super happy with this. This is pretty cool. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of the episode there. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Again, I apologize for not getting the tower lift. We'll get footage of that in the future. I would say I promise, but I'll probably forget to hit record then too. Man, I need a dedicated camera person. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.